Good evening, everyone. I wanted to share with you about my last couple of days. I have been in Brisbane at some doTERRA events. 2 days of beautiful training, attended some leadership training, attended a really divine event with Emily Wright, one of our founding directors, or founding executives, she is actually. Hi to whoever's just logged on. I hate that Facebook doesn't tell me who it is anymore. Might jump on here and is it letting me do that? Just going to invite a few beautiful people so they know I'm on. If you are watching, I would love for you to just say hi in the comments or send an emoji so I know you're watching. So I had the pleasure of spending 2 days immersed in doTERRA and essential oils. I had the pleasure of spending 2 days on my own without my little baby, which was fine for day 1, and day 2 it was really tough. I've never been away from him. I've only been away from him once for one night. And he was sick. He was sick the entire time. He was quite unwell at home, so that made it even tougher. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about some amazing information that I would love to share with you. There's so much information in my head that I don't even know where to start or what to share with you, and I'll caveat by saying I'm probably going to get a bit emotional. My whole drive home today was about 5 hours. I look like shit because I'm really tired, but my husband's in bed, so I'm taking this opportunity to talk to you while I can, and it's fresh. I've got my notebook. It was a really fulfilling 2 days. It was I've titled this Heart Cracked Wide Open. I already had a lot of love for this company. One, because the oils are flippin' amazing. But 2, because I had obviously read and heard, particularly from other people, around the real heart and soul of this company. Hey, Amanda. Amanda actually was with me for all of day 2, so she might like to share in the comments anything. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I had heard from beautiful team members around the heart and soul of this company, and it wasn't until I sat for 2 days and really immersed and listened and took in that I was like, fuck, this is not an oils company. This is the company that's changing people's lives on multiple ends of the spectrum. People's lives in terms of our oil users, so in terms of you guys, changing people's lives all around the world in terms of the countries that we source our amazing products from the children in Nepal who now go to school because we built them a school, from the children and women in Somalia who now have clean water because we drilled them a well, the countries that we've built health clinics, like I can't even talk to you about it. So I'll share a couple of nuggets, and I'll try to not be on here for 3 hours. The lengths that this company goes to bring you the best products in the world, the most potent, the most pure, and the most ethical. Now, for some time, I struggled to answer the question when someone said to me, why the hell is frankincense $115 a bottle? I used to find myself saying, oh, because it's really rare and hard to source. I had the pleasure of hearing firsthand from Emily Wright how we source our frankincense and what it took for us to get our frankincense. Now, when Emily and the founding executives started doTERRA, they wanted to build a company that, oh, look, if I move, then you get to see my bedroom and my dirty washing baskets. They wanted to build a company that had integrity, that had the best product in the world, and that changed people's lives. They created this company to be a healthcare disruptor, to heal people, to soothe people, to bring us back to nature. Now, I don't need to tell you that our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-grandparents' grandparents didn't have ibuprofen. They didn't have antibiotics. Nor did they have the level of health issues that we today are suffering. There wasn't the level of infertility issues. They went to the plants. They went back to nature. They made concoctions using our plants, which is exactly what essential oils are. Essential oils are the volatile compounds from the bark, the leaves, the stems, the roots, the flowers, the resin from our flowers and our plants and our trees. And so when you buy a $100 bottle of frankincense, this bottle of frankincense is sourced from Somalia. And now when our company found that the best frankincense came from Somalia, we had to work in with the local people. And so one of the beautiful things about doTERRA is that they recognized from the get-go that they didn't want to just go and buy product from people. They didn't just want to buy canisters of plant extracts, right? They wanted access to the plants. They wanted access to see where the plants grow that they are sourcing their product from. They wanted to be in partnership. They didn't just want to have this money exchange, right? So they care. So when we are sourcing frankincense, doTERRA actually cares about the bloody trees, right? So they send these experts in to these communities to make sure that we're not harming the tree to cause death. We want these plants to be around for generations and generations. Now, the beautiful thing in Somalia is that these beautiful trees are actually handed down through family, through generations. And so I had the privilege of watching this beautiful video of a young Somali man who said that, you know, like this was his inheritance, these trees. And they'd been in 5 generations of men in his family. And so doTERRA work really closely with these communities so that they know how to extract these, depending on what the plant is, the flowers or the bark or the whole plant if it's a spikenard, and so or lemons, from the lemon tree. They actually give a damn, right? And so when we went to Somalia to start building a relationship, and I'm talking our founding executives, like they don't send people out to do their dirty work. The actual founding executives go and meet with these communities. And the Somali people had no use for money. There's no shops there. There's nothing they can buy. They were selling some of their product for really low money. It was worth 10 times what they were being paid. And the Somali people were saying we could do so much more if someone just invested in us. If someone just gave us the time and the support and the know-how. And so that's what doTERRA did, which is what our co-impact sourcing is all about, that we work together in partnerships with these, communities and countries that grow the world's best plants, that produce the world's best oils. And so because the Somali people had no use for paper money, doTERRA sent in trucks of food. And that is how they slowly built their trust with the Somali people, which is beautiful, right? And, there's countries where doTERRA have gone out in our co-impact sourcing partnerships and seen children walking for 3 hours a day and going, what are these people doing? They were walking 3 hours a day to carry buckets of clean water up a mountain. And so these children were not going to school because they had to have the clean water to survive. And so women in this community, and I can't remember if it was Somalia or Nepal. I think it was Somalia. It was Somalia. Nepal is another story. Women were not able to wash their clothes unless it rained. We were asked to put our hands up. Who here today has had a bottle of water and thrown half of it out? And everybody put their hands up. We take our life for granted, right? These people don't have clean water to drink. So they had to walk 3 hours up and down a mountain. So they had to walk up with the water. They'd bring it back to their village and they would have to boil it. And then they'd have to go again the next day or they would not survive. And so doTERRA came in and after 5 attempts managed to drill a well for water. And they were really disheartened when the Somali people were not that excited when it finally happened. And kind of the interpreter, the go-between person, they said, why are they not excited? And he said, because they think when the white people go away, the water will stop running. And our executive said to the people, the water will never stop running. It will always be here, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. And so they have water, right? They have clean water because of doTERRA, because of us, because we buy good quality fucking essential oils, because we buy frankincense that's $100 a bottle because that is what it is worth. We don't pay $8 from Coles because it's synthetic crap. And so one of the really, we watched some footage of women. It kind of looks like they're panning for gold. So they had these big pans. And so frankincense is sourced from the resin from, it's like the Boswellia tree. I can't even pronounce it. And so they have to, like, you know, take the bark of the tree off. And they have to sort through all of that. And these women for hours sit and sort through and have to take all the rocks out and everything till they're left with just what we need. And so when we pay $100 a bottle, we are paying some beautiful Somali woman to hand sort through like this dish of God knows what, to pick out the frankincense resin, which we then, you know, process, and it goes through a steam distillation process to get put in this magical bottle. And so when we purchase a bottle of oil, we get to inhale it, we get to lather ourselves in it, we get to put it on our tongue to help our immunity, because frankincense makes your cells fire. It keeps you well. It tastes foul, but it's bloody worth it. But we are funding the Somali people to have clean water, to have pay that they deserve. We are changing that little community's, their lives. It's so beautiful. Now, Nepal, through our Healing Hands Foundation, we have invested $6.1 million. We have built schools, we have built medical clinics. I won't share the story because I'll really get upset talking about these young girls from Nepal who were basically sex trafficked their whole lives, just sent out all day to be raped 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, and then to come home and then go back again, just day in, day out, until they either committed suicide or they were killed. And doTERRA asked the Nepalese people, what do you want from us? Like, if there's one thing we can give you, what do you want? And they asked for education, for schools, for their children. And so the Somali story of us giving them a well, one, it meant they had clean water, but two, it meant that the children could go to school because they didn't have to walk 3 hours to get the bloody water. So that meant they were educated. Like, it goes beyond the oils, right? I could talk for hours about some of the stories we learned. I'm just going to have a look over my notes for some things that I might want to share with you. We saw some beautiful testimonials from people who either had a direct phenomenal experience with these oils, or they supported someone who did. You know, a lady stood up who had lupus. Now, lupus is it affects your whole nervous system. This woman was being supported by her dad. She had children. She was in a really dark place. She couldn't drive. She couldn't move a lot. And with the support of oils, her entire life has changed. She got up on stage and shared with us that she can now drive. She can spend time with her children. She looked amazing. One of the ladies got up and talked to us about how when she started using the oils, she really disrespected them. She didn't understand their power. And it wasn't until she saw firsthand what it did for some people that it knocked her socks off. And she said to herself in that moment, don't ever disrespect the fucking oils again. And from that moment on, she hasn't. And I know sometimes I find myself going, but this is big. This is heavy. I don't know if the oils will work. And then I surprise myself. And I use them. And I'm like, holy shit, they freaking worked. Right? Modern medicine, as in our pharmaceuticals today, are man-made synthetic versions of our plants. That is all they are. That is how the pharmaceutical companies make the big money, right? And so why would you choose that unless you need to? Why would you, if you've got the oils, I guess what I want to say is have faith in them, trust them, use your intuition. Ask for help if you don't know what to do or what to use or how to use it. I implore every single one of you to download the Modern Essentials app on your phone. So the book that I always talk about, which is just here, this is an app. It's like $12. I can type in. So this is what happens. Someone contacts me and says, hey babe, what can I use for this? I type it in my app. Generally, I will always tell you what's in the app. I will always tell you what's recommended. Because that's my role as a wellness advocate, to guide you back to the tools. I'll always tell you if I've had an experience with that and what I found worked, but it's always from the app or it's from the emotions book. So I can type in headache and it tells me to use the headache relief blend, which is past tense. It tells me to use peppermint, rosemary, or the soothing blend. Gives me a recipe, 2 drops each of peppermint, eucalyptus, and frankincense to the neck, temples, and forehead. That's a great one to make up in a roller. I'll share with you a couple of other things, and these are mostly from Emily Wright's talk. She talked to us about how essential oils are intelligent, and how when we use them, their role in the body is to create balance. And so when we apply an essential oil, when we apply something to our hand, so she showed us some slides of when we just put oil on our skin. Like, I didn't write the percentage down, but a high percentage of it evaporates off. When we use a carrier oil, and I will just say this fractionated coconut oil that is from doTERRA, it is specially designed to be a high quality carrier oil specific for topical application. It's the most divine carrier oil you've ever seen. It's $16 a bottle, and that is why. So it is designed to be heavily absorbed into your skin. So when you purchase liquid coconut oil from Coles or Woolworths for $4 or $5 a bottle, it's not the same. You can use it, but just know that it is not fractionated coconut oil. It's not the same quality, and it won't yield the same results. You can use it. You can absolutely use it. And I use other oils. I use sweet almond oil for my son because coconut oil irritates his skin. But I just wanted to let you know that piece of wisdom. So when we use our carrier oil, the essential oil is carried into the skin, it's carried into our layers, down into our cells. A tip that Emily shared with us is that to make essential oils even more heavily absorbable is to massage your body. So if you're thinking about massaging your child before bed, to do like a lavender body massage their feet and their legs and their arms first, just with your hands. So to stimulate their skin, give them a little, or if you are wanting to rub ice blue or past tense on your neck, give yourself a rub here, Then put your oil in your hand and apply it. So because you have stimulated your skin before applying the essential oils, they will absorb into your skin even more. So use a carrier oil and stimulate your skin before you apply. I didn't actually write a lot of stuff down when I was at Emily because I was so intent on being present and listening to what she had to say. Sorry, babe, I just jumped on because you were sleeping. I won't be long. And we'll get some dinner. I'm just on a live. Emily Wright here. These are some of the notes I wrote down. Essential oils, hundreds of molecules within one drop of an essential oil. Molecules are designed to work within multiple pathways within the body. They are intelligent and they find balance within the body. Essential oils are metabolized really quickly in the body. And so if you think about when you take Panadol or ibuprofen, Nurofen or whatever, and you have to wait 4 to 6 hours between a dose, with an essential oil, when you apply your headache roller and 10 to 15 minutes later you're feeling like you need a bit more, or like your shoulder, you're actually got a bit of, tense out here, you can apply more and you can keep applying it because the body metabolizes it really quickly. And so there's like the limits of what the body can handle in oils you would not use per day. And I have shared those in the group, but I'll share them below here a bit later. And because you're using a carrier oil, you're not getting as much on your body anyway. Sorry, when I was talking about the well, digging up putting the well in for the community, it wasn't Somalia. It was in Haiti, which is where we source our vetiver from. I wrote down Haiti vetiver. Community walked 3 hours a day up a mountain to carry water that they had to boil to survive. We currently source from 44 countries around the world. Oh, I said we invested 6.1 million in Nepal. It's 1.6. I've got dyspraxia. I wrote down, we invested 1.6 million into Nepal, including schools to stop the sex slavery of women, to educate them. Somalia, which we talked about with the frankincense. So we started paying with food as they couldn't use paper money. We sent in $170,000 worth of flour, rice, dates, water, etc. over the last 3 years. And I wrote down, we are not just buying product, we are investing in these communities. She talked about the CPTG, which is the certified pure therapeutic grade label that comes with our oils. And so you'll see some people, particularly people who are not supportive of doTERRA, the haters, they hate us because we're so amazing. They'll say, oh, but doTERRA came up with that themselves. Like, that's not even a grading system. Emily's response, too fucking right we did. We wanted a grading system that meant we weren't just putting out these shit oils, right? And so what was shared, and I'm not a chemist, I'm not a, I don't understand all that stuff. The words don't mean a lot to me. I'm learning, which is silly because I actually did chemistry and physics in my year 12. That was a long time ago. What was shared with us is that some companies, not doTERRA, so frankincense, for example, is really high in one chemical constituent. There's another oil that has the same chemical constituent in it. And so what some companies do is source this oil. So this is an oil that's a lot cheaper, right? They source this oil and they extract the chemical constituent from it and they sell it off as frankincense and charge what you would for frankincense, but it's not frankincense. And so what doTERRA tests and make sure is that when we are sourcing a lavender plant, which is high in linalool, I do know that one, that we, in our bottle of lavender, which is amazing. I miss my lavender. I didn't take it to Brisbane. I took my roller and I rolled that on my temples each night. So that when we buy our bottle of lavender, we are not getting some other product that is high in linalool, that we are getting lavender. And so there's a new laboratory that doTERRA are funding that will provide these amazing tests for anyone if they dare submit their oils, to provide the independent testing that doTERRA has always strived for. She talked to us about a lot of sciencey stuff. 1 drop of essential oil is 6.1 million molecules received by the body. So that when we say 1 drop is powerful and 1 drop is all you need, that is why. Oh yeah, so the other purpose of fractionated coconut oil, apart from the absorbability, is it protects the oil from evaporating. Some situations with us were shared, some people that had particular medical issues. bless me, sorry, and some oils that they used. She then talked to us about the new oils, and I'll share a little bit of information with you. My oils are on their way. I didn't order all of the oils, and I'm almost annoyed that I ordered them because now the post-convention kit is out. So what I will share with you is that I purchased the Neroli, the Rose, and the Jasmine Touch and the Yoga kit. That cost me close to $300 US. You can buy the post-convention kit for $294 US. And in addition to that, you will get Copaiba, Siberian Fir, Blue Tansy, and an On Guard spray. You save $150 US, which is like 200 and something Australian dollars. So if you want to get those oils, get the post-convention kit. Do it in October because the kit is exactly 200 PV, and that will qualify you for the 200 PV promo in the US, which is a free bottle of Balance, a free bottle of Citrus Bliss, and a free bottle of Serenity, which is Lavender Peace here in Australia. So it's the new blend, the Restful blend. My son this afternoon seriously had, you should see our floor, there's shit everywhere. I've got sticky stuff all over me. And so she shared with us some information about some of the oils. I didn't write down a lot, but Neroli oil I'm really excited about, and I'm going to share this with you because there's a lot of you, you're all women. A lot of you are mums. So the notes that I took down around Neroli oil, and I need to try and stay really compliant here, so you might have to read between the lines. Memory recall, better sleep, relaxation, focus with an application to the brainstem, improve hormone concentration, encourages feelings of intimacy, targeted cellular support for women. That's one we all need. Jasmine. Now, jasmine is not an essential oil. Jasmine flowers do not produce essential oils. Jasmine is an absolute. So to produce a 5 ml bottle of absolute, it was taking 21,000 petals. Now, an absolute is more intense than an essential oil. And so that is available now in the Touch Roller that's diluted with fractionated coconut oil. Jasmine is amazing for maintaining healthy blood pressure levels. It is the oil of sexual purity. What am I talking about, Jasmine? And balance. Rose, the oil of divine love. Now, rose, this will blow your socks off. 8,000 roses to produce 5 ml. So they're the small bottles, like your ice blue, which is equivalent to 242,000 rose petals. Like, it's not ethical or sustainable, right? Which is why it's never been available to purchase. It would cost US $450, which is probably close to $600 to purchase a 5 ml bottle. So the fact that we can get that roller for under $100 is amazing. So rose essential oil, we know that many citrus oils evaporate really quickly. So they're the top notes. So when you make a blend, And I'll share a post over the next couple of days around blending. I may already have done so. The top notes is the aroma that you smell first, but it dissipates quickly. And so there are unique chemicals, chemical components, chemical constituents within rose that have staying power. So it's the alkane, so it's a medium note. And so when you apply it, it's not going to dissipate quickly. It lingers and it stays around for quite a while. Now, 2 really amazing facts for rose. Releases the desire for pain medication. And it is the biggest powerhouse for immune support. A study was done above and beyond on garden oregano. Amazing, right? Blue tansy, anti-inflammatory, anti-itch. We were shared some pictures of a woman who had gone through some poison oak, and within 1 day, 24 hours of applying blue tansy with Salubel, or Immortel in America, on her legs with Pico, the red rash had gone. And within a few days, it was all gone. Or she was left with some scars, which she's using Salubel and frankincense. Blue tansy and copaiba together, topically, an amazing powerhouse for pain management. The On Guard spray, it is compliant and I can legally tell you that it eliminates 99.9% of bacteria on the skin. So that's amazing. And it doesn't dry your skin out. Now, copaiba. She talked to us about the endocannabinoid system. I won't begin to explain it. But the copaiba has a direct hit on the CB2 receptors. Now, the CB2 receptors almost manage our entire body. Our mood, our motor control, our immune function. So for someone who needs the support of copaiba, 2 drops internally 3 times a day. And I would add frankincense to that as well. And you should all be taking frankincense internally for your immune support, if you feel you need it and you feel comfortable taking it internally. You can either pop a drop straight in your mouth, put it on your thumb and put it in the roof of your mouth, or you could take it inside a capsule. And then the rest of the 2 days was around leadership training for those of us who are sharing or building a business and wanting to create the financial freedom. And I have to say, it was really beautiful watching everyday ordinary women and a couple of men, like the husband, who had reached gold, diamond, presidential diamond status. Now, those ranks may not mean much to you guys, but I would encourage that you jump on the doTERRA website and do some searching. If you are a lover of these oils and you look forward to your purple box arriving, then check it out. Because it's real. It's so real. And this business is not hard. The oils speak for themselves and they sell themselves. They are changing the lives of everyday people. What this business is, it is a personal development business. A big part of this business is getting over your own bullshit and doing it anyway. It's scary to present to a room full of people when you're not an aromatherapist. It's scary to ask someone like your best friend or your barista or your librarian or your mechanic or whoever to come to a workshop. It's scary to ask someone to host a workshop with you, to invite their friends, to trust in you. But you know what? You do it because they need the oils in their life. They need to have that special little box in their house that empowers them to choose them and to choose nature, to choose Mother Nature. That's all we're doing. So beautiful. I also had the pleasure of attending an emotions and essential oils masterclass last night, which I'm really excited about because I'm actually running a class next month for beautiful Angela. And we talked a lot about our mood, biochemistry, and the impact of aroma. We talked about oils being a spiritual messenger. I might get a bit woo-woo, so bear with me. One of the really beautiful things, it was run by two ladies, Sherry Burton. Everyone look up Sherry Burton. She was freaking amazing. They shared with us that crying, it is false beliefs being released. And the tissues are the false belief catchers. And that quite often it is the false beliefs and the stories that we attach to situations, our perception of situations, that are more damaging than quite often the situation themselves. We let our ego run away with stories. We engage in the stories. So when my ego says, Kelly, you can't do that. No one's going to listen. No one cares. No one's going to come to your class. No one's going to, what is that? If I believe in that and engage in that, that's going to keep happening. So a big part of this is around the self-development. Essential oils can unlock your subconscious mind. As human beings, we learn through resonance, which is the vibration at the cellular level. Emotions are processed throughout the body and not just the brain. The pathway from the heart to the brain is actually faster than the brain to the heart. They talked about our throat chakra or our thyroid being the pathway or the highway between the brain and the heart. And that if we don't speak up, if we're not heard, that can result in a lot of thyroid issues. Essential oils directly hit the body cell when they're used both topically and aromatically. Smell is the fastest way to affect your mood. then they shared with us kind of a bit of a process around getting over that stuff in our head. Now, beautiful Amanda has said, oh, a long one. Guys, seriously, if I can just say one thing from this whole beautiful experience, I couldn't recommend enough you just going along to a leadership training day, even if you aren't interested in doing this as a business, but just to hear the inspirational speeches that you hear. I am not currently in the place to be creating a business, but going along and hearing and seeing all of this literally left me in tears and overflowing with love in my heart. Words cannot even describe what you would get out of it. Thanks, Amanda. That's really beautiful. I spent a good part of my 2 days constantly just welling up in tears, looking at the person next to me just going, I spent a good part of my drive home just feeling like so much information overload, so much I want to share, so much I don't even know what to do with, so many things that I feel like I have to do because I just want to share these oils with every freaking person I know. Anyway, I hope that some of that resonated with you. And what I would love is your help. I would love your help to share these oils with as many people as we can. To your mum friends who have kids that have trouble breathing, kids with asthma, children who are constantly sick, to your work colleagues who work a million miles an hour and have no concept of self-care, to your friends' hubbies who work long, extraneous hours and constantly have tired, sore, aching muscles, to the neighbour or the postie who maybe has mental health issues, arthritis, to your kid's soccer coach, to your bullies guy, who maybe their mum has a crippling illness. We want to support them. We want to provide physical, emotional, mental. These oils provide support at the cellular level. So I would really love to hear from you 2 things. What are 2 things that resonated with you in this chat that I've just done? And whether you would be willing to host a class or 2 and invite your friends or your family so that we can share these oils with them. Thank you for giving me this time. I really wanted to jump on this morning, but I was driving and it wasn't safe. I'm feeling really whacked, but full. My cup is full. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be your leader and your guide and your support and your mentor. Thank you for welcoming these beautiful oils into your home. Thank you for changing the lives of so many people around the world, including your own and your families. And just thank you for being here. Each and every single one of you. I really and truly appreciate it. And I know that goes for Lauren too. Thanks, everyone.